Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. We're continuing our studies on Romans and Galatians. No, last time we discussed about Romans chapter 1 and Romans chapter 2. No, ngayon ay Romans chapter 2 pa rin tayo. We're continuing our studies on Romans chapter 2 verses 17 to 29. But before we read, I would like to just to give a summary of our discussion on verses 1 to 16, verses 1 to 16. Nakita po natin dito na ang matuwid na paghatol ng Diyos sa sanlibutan, ang matuwid na paghatol ng Diyos, and we have seen the 7 great principles of God's judgment. First, na we have discussed last time is God's judgment is according to the truth, according to verse 2. Second, God's judgment is according to accumulated guilt, according to verse 5. Third, God's judgment is according to works, according to verse 6. And number 4, God's judgment is without respect of a person, whether you are religious or not, whether you are a Jew or not, Number 5 po natin, God's judgment is according to performance, not on knowledge, kahit na mayroon kang kaalaman tungkol sa Biblia, pero kung hindi mo ito naman sinasabuhay, doon ka wala ka rin pong ligtas sa kahatulan ng Diyos. And number 6, according to verse 16, God's judgment reaches the secrets of the heart. Wala hong hindi nabubunyag sa ating Panginoon, nasasaliksik niya ang nilalaman ng ating puso. And now we come to the seventh. Is God's judgment is according to reality, not on religious profession. It is according to reality and not on religious profession. According to Romans chapter 2, verses 17 to 29. And that will be our discussions for today in Romans chapter 2, 17 to 29. Kaya mas, Pastor Maria.
Ngunit ikaw na nagsasabing ikaw ay Hudyo at nananalig sa kautusan, pinagmamalaki mong may kaugnayan ka sa Diyos. Sabi mo'y may alam mo ang kanyang kalooban at sumasang-ayon ka sa mabubuting bagay, sapagkat ito ang natutunan mo sa kautusan. Ang palagay mo'y taga-akay ka ng bulag, tanglaw ng mga nasa dilim, tagapayo ng mga hangal at tagapagturo ng mga bata. Dahil natuklasan mo ang kautusan, ang buong kaalaman at katotohanan, nagtuturo ka sa iba. Bakit di mo turuan ang iyong sarili? Nangangaral kang masama ang magnakaw, bakit ka nagnanakaw? Sinasabi mong huwag mangangalunya, bakit ka nangangalunya? Nasusuklam ka sa mga Diyos-Diyosan, bakit ninanakawan mo ang mga templo nila? Pinagmamalaki mong saklaw ka ng kautusan, ngunit nilalapastangan mo naman ang Diyos sa pamamagitan ng paglabag mo sa kautusan. Ayon sa nasusulat, ang pangalan ng Diyos ay nilalait ng mga hintil dahil sa inyo. Mahalaga lamang ang iyong pagiging tuli kung tumutupad ka sa kautusan. Subalit kung lumalabag ka sa kautusan, para ka rin hindi tinuli. Kung ang hindi tuli ay gumagawa batay sa panuntunan ng kautusan, hindi ba siya ituturing na tuli? Kaya, ikaw na Hudyong nasa ilalim ng kautusan, ngunit hindi naman tumutupad nito, ay hahatulan ng mga tumutupad sa kautusan bagamat hindi sila tinuli. Sapagkat ang pagiging isang tunay na Hudyo ay hindi dahil sa panlabas ng kanyuan o dahil sa pagtutuli sa laman. Ang tunay na Hudyo ay ang taong nabago sa puso at kalooban, ayon sa Espiritu at hindi ayon sa kautusang nasusulat. Ang papuri sa taong iyon ay mula sa Diyos at hindi mula sa mga tao.
Okay, for our outline, we have 3 portions regarding Romans chapter 2, verse 17 to 29. The first portion is what we call chapter 2, 17 to 20. The Jew thinks that through his relationship to the law, he has essential features of knowledge and truth and can guide and teach the Gentile. No. Our first point, the Jew thinks that through his relationship to the law, he has the essential features of knowledge and truth and can guide and teach the Gentiles. It is in verses 17 to 20. No. The second part is in verses 21 to 24. Verses 21 to 24. But the Jews do not obey the teachings of the law, and as a result, the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles. No, this is the summary of 21 to 24. But the Jews does not obey the teachings of the law, and as a result, the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles. I repeat, but the Jews does not obey the law, the teachings of the law, and as a result, the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles. That is in verses 21 to 24. And third portion natin, no, verses 25 to 29. The Jew cannot arrogantly appeal, no? The Jew cannot arrogantly appeal to the outward rite of circumcision. The Jew cannot arrogantly appeal to the outward rite of circumcision. Since the uncircumcised man who obeys the law will be regarded as circumcised, and he in turn will judge the disobedience of the circumcised Jew as uncircumcision. And the true Jew, who gets praise from God, not people, is the one who is circumcised by the Spirit inwardly, in the heart, and not by the letter. Verses 25 to 29. I repeat, no? The Jew cannot arrogantly appeal to the outward rite of circumcision, since, number one, the uncircumcised man who obeys the law will be regarded as circumcised, and he in turn will judge the disobedience of the circumcised Jew as uncircumcision. And the true Jew who gets praise from God, not people, is the one who is circumcised by the Spirit inwardly, in the heart, and not by the letter. Okay. Our subpoint for portion point number 1. Many Jews, letter A, many Jews rely on the law. Many Jews rely on the law and boast in their relationship to Yahweh and claim to know His will since they are instructed out of the law. Many Jews rely on the law and boast in their relationship to Yahweh and claim to know His will since they are instructed out of the law in verses 17 to 18. No. Subpoint po natin sa letter A. Number 1, many Jews proudly call themselves Jews, rely on the law, and boast in their relationship with God in verse 17. Number 2, many Jews know God's will and approve of morally and spiritually superior things because they claim to have been instructed out of the law. Verse 18. Many Jews know God's will and approve of morally and spiritually superior things because they claim to have been instructed of the law in verse 18. Letter B, subpoint natin sa number 1. Many Jews are convinced that since they have the essential features of knowledge and truth in the law, they are to be de facto able to carry on a mediatorial and pedagogical role in the world. Verses 19 to 20. Many Jews are convinced that since they have the essential features of knowledge and truth in the law, they are the de facto able to carry on a mediatorial and pedagogical role in the world. Verses 19 to 20. Our subpoint in B is many Jews are convinced that they are guide to the blind. They are guide to the blind. Verse 19. Many Jews are convinced that they are a light to those in darkness. Verse 19. Many Jews are convinced that they are educator of the senseless. Verse 20. Many Jews are convinced that they are teacher of the little children. Verses 20. The Jews have in the law the essential features of knowledge and truth in verse 20. Subpoint po natin sa main point natin, second point. Letter A natin sa second point, verses 21 to 23. The Jews who teaches and preaches, the Jews who teaches, preaches and tells others not to steal, commit adultery, and rob temples is himself guilty of the same sins. No, the Jew who teaches and preaches and tells others not to steal, commit adultery, and rob temples is himself guilty of the same sin in verses 21 to 23. Subpoint natin sa letter A. Number 1, many Jews preach against stealing, yet they steal. Verse 21. Many Jews tell others not to commit adultery, yet they commit adultery. Verse 22. Many Jews abhor idols, yet they rob temples, verse 23. Many Jews boast in the law, but they dishonor God by transgressing the law, verse 23. Letter B natin is based on verse 24. The name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles because of the Jews' disobedience, verse 24. Letter A natin sa third point. Letter A sa third point, verses 25 to 29. Circumcision is as uncircumcision when a man continually breaks the law, verse 25. Circumcision is as uncircumcision when a man continually breaks the law, in verse 25. Letter B, the uncircumcised man who keeps the law will be regarded as circumcised, and he will judge the disobedience of the circumcised man as uncircumcision, verses 26 to 27. Letter C, the true Jew who gets praise from God, not people, is one who is not simply circumcised outwardly in the flesh, but one who has been circumcised inwardly by the Spirit and not the letter, verses 28 to 29. The true Jew, who gets the praise from God, not people, is one who is not simply circumcised outwardly in the flesh, but one who has been circumcised inwardly by the Spirit and not a letter, verses 28 to 29. Subpoint po natin sa last letters natin. A true Jew is not one outwardly, and circumcision is not something purely outward in the body, according to verse 28. Number 2, a true Jew is one inwardly, where the circumcision is of the heart by the Spirit, not by the letter, in verse 29. And a true Jew is one whose praise is not from people, but from God. Verse 29. Okay, we continue on our exposition of the following verses 17 to 29. What Paul has been saying regarding the Jews, somewhat obliquely in chapter 2, verse 1 to 16, comes into the full light of the day in verse 17 to 29. The fact of their hypocrisy, alluded to in chapter 2, verse 1 to 3, is highlighted with full force in 17 to 29. No. Romans chapter 17 to 29 breaks down in three smaller units. Nag-discuss natin kanina. Sabi natin, 17 to 20 fall through the use of the series of conditional statements which are never really formally completed. Focus is on the particular claim of the Jew as one who was privileged and sustained a special mediatorial role to the world in light of his possession of the law of God. Actually, tama po yung kanilang emphasis dapat, no? That they have what we call the special mediatorial role, no? Actually, in-specified po yan ng Panginoon sa Old Testament kung bakit ibinigay ng Diyos ang batas sa mga Hudyo for them to become light in the world, no? Dapat po ang mga Hudyo ang testimony ng kabutihan ng Diyos sa buong mundo upang ang mundo sa magitan ng kanyang pangako kay Abraham ay magkamit ng pagpapala. Pero ang Hudyo na binigyan ng Diyos ng kautusan, no, ay sumablay. Ano man tamang sa sablay? Ha? Anong gandang tamang term sa sablay? Hindi niya natupad ang kanyang tungkulin, no? Ano sabihin natin sablay? Ha? Hindi niya natupad ang kanyang tungkulin na inatang ng Diyos sa kanyang balikat, no? Pero sa kabila noon, ang kanilang kaisipan ay sila pa rin ay tagapagturo ng kautusan, no? Because they possess the law of God. The emphasis falls on the Jews' knowledge via the law and their claim to be teachers of those without such moral and spiritual insight, no? In verse 21 to 24, Paul refers to the fact that although they had the law and claimed they could teach others, it was obvious that they had not taught themselves. No. Ano pong maliwanag? Maliwanag po sa discussion ni Apostol Pablo na ang mga Hudyo na nagkiklaim na sila ay ang dapat tagapagturo ng iba, no, ay maliwanag po na hindi nila naturuan una ang kanilang sarili. No. Nagkamali sila doon sa kanilang function. Akala nila ang pagkakaroon, ang by merely possession the law, no, qualifies them to become teachers. No. Hindi nila sinunod ang ginawa ni Nehemiah. No. Ni Ezra. No. Kung makikita nyo po sa Ezra 7:10, no, ay napakaganda ho ang prinsipyo doon na ibinigay Sige. Ni Ezra, no? Ginawa ni Ezra para sa bago ho niya itinuro ang kautusan, no? At ito naging basihan ng tinatawag nating hermeneutics, no? Tingnan natin siya sabi sa Ezra chapter 7 verse 10.
Buong sikap na pinag-aralan ni Ezra ang kautusan ni Yahweh upang maisagawa niya ito at upang maituro niya sa bayang Israel ang mga batas at tuntunin nito.
Yan. Makita niyo po, alam niyo po the role, the title of Ezra is the scribe, no? The role of the scribe na nung parte ho ng New Testament ay may mga scribe. Nagkumpisa pa po yan sa Old Testament, no? No, kung saan ay sinasalin ho nila ang kautusan upang maunawaan, upang maipagpatuloy ang pagkakaroon ng kaalaman tungkol sa salita ng Diyos, no? Ano pong ginawa ni Ezra, no? Ang sabi doon, Ezra studied the law diligently, no? At ito ang ginagawa ng mga Hudyo. Pinag-aaralan ho nila ang kautusan at napakarami po nilang katuruan tungkol sa kautusan, no? Pangalawa, sabi sa binasa natin sa Ezra, no, he obeyed the law. Yung pinag-aralan ho ni Ezra ay hindi lamang upang maunawaan, kundi upang isabuhay at isagawa. At that is the function, that is the role of the law sa ating buhay, no? Na hindi ho nakita ng mga o hindi ginagawa ng mga Hudyo. They want to become teachers but they are not following the law, no? Kaya ang sabi dito, they claim that they could teach others. It was obvious that they had not taught themselves because they are committing the same sins for which they had the habit of rebuking the Gentiles. In verses 25 to 29, Paul focuses on the one thing in which the Jews prided themselves as a covenant person, which is circumcision. Paul's interpretation of circumcision, however, was that it was only a sign, and that if the reality was not present, the sign was of no value. Ano po siya sabi ni Apostol Pablo? Circumcision is the sign of what happens inside and not only outward. We move now to the consideration of the details on the passage. No, verses 17 to 18. Paul mentioned 5 things about the Jew in 17 to 18, all of which are connected to the fact that as a Jew he had been instructed out of the very revealed law of God. When a man referred to himself as a Jew, it was done with pride, since as such he did not commit the same sins as the lawless Gentiles. No. Kaya kung makikita ho natin, mahigpit ho sa pagpapatupad ng kautusan. And they added more to the law of God. No? They added more to the law of God. Meron silang kaugalian, ipinasa yung the unwritten law, no? The unwritten law. So, dahil nasa kanila ang kautusan, nagkaroon ho sila ng pride by calling themselves Jews, no? And thus in his mind, he accorded a special favor with Yahweh and was especially chosen by him. That is katotohanan, no? And as a Jew, he relied on the law. That is, he derived his sense of security with Yahweh from his connection with and obedience to the law. He was also one who supposedly, having obeyed the law, could boast about his relationship with the true God, whereas Gentiles who are guilty of such valid and lawful sins could obviously make no such claims. All they could do is hope to be taught by the Jew. No. That is, the Jews' focus in boasting in God is clear from the next claim, that they knew His will, no? That they knew His will. Maliwanag ko yan sa original. The term, no, will refers primarily to that revealed in that law of Moses, no, or Mosaic law, and includes a spiritual and moral truth. The Jews supposedly knows right from wrong in matters of worship, ethics, and claim that he can therefore teach others. No. As someone who knew the will of God, that you could then rightly judge between what was proper, spiritually and morally speaking, and what was not. He was able to approve the superior things. No. As Paul says, since he had been instructed out of the law, the Jew was to have learned how to discern the will of God through catechetical instruction based on the law. In short, the Jews' religion was a revealed religion. God making himself known to man. And as a special recipient of that revelation, he prided himself in his name, position, and knowledge. Yun hong pride na yun, ang nagtakip po ng kanilang mata upang makita nila ang kanilang sarili sa tuwing binabasa nila ang kautusan. No, nakita niyo po ang epekto sa mga Hudyo? Since they possessed the law, no, they prided themselves because they possess the law. They are now qualified to what? To become teachers of the law. Not knowing, no, the responsibility behind the knowledge of such law, that the true knowledge of such law means an application of the law to their own individual lives, no? The knowledge of the law in their individual lives. Makita nga natin sa kanilang pride of becoming scribes, no, or teachers of the law, no? Maging sa pagsusulat ho ng o pagta-transfer ho o pagkokopya, pagsisipi ng Old Testament, no? Pag napapunta ho sila doon sa pangalan ni Yahweh, no? Naliligo po, ganun ho nila nirespeto. The problem is in the application, no? The problem is in the application. Kaya nga ang sabi ng ating Panginoon Kristo, no, sa Matthew chapter 7, yung tinatawag nating sermon ng Dumam, no? Bago ka makapagtanggal ng puwing ng iyong kapatid, tanggalin mo muna yung troso, no? Ganun ho yung sinasabi ng sino yung kinakausap niya sa Matthew. Sino tinuturuan ni Jesus doon sa bundok na sermon niya sa Matthew chapter 7? Matthew chapter 7? Yung sermon ng Dumam, sino sinasermonan niya? Ha? Ang sinasermonan niya ay mga tao, no? Ang mga Hudyo, ang kanyang binibigyan ng sermon, no? Hindi mo niya sinasermonan ng mga hintil. Ang sinasabihan mo niya sa Matthew chapter 7 are the Jews, no? Are the Jews. At dito magbibigay sa atin ng prinsipyo, no? With regards to how we could judge other by judging ourselves first, no? Sa madaling salita, ang teacher ay may requirement. Ang teacher ay may requirement to, katulad ng ginawa ni Nehemias, no? Study diligently the law and do what the law requires, no? Do what the law requires. Verses 19 to 20. Therefore, as someone who knew the will of God through Torah, no, which is the law, he was confidently that he fulfilled the chief mediatorial for God and pedagogical role in the world. First, no? So dalawa yung role ng gusto niya mangyari, no? Becoming chief mediatorial, no? Yun ho ang priestly function. That is the priestly function in the Old Testament, no? Ang tao ho bago pwedeng lumapit sa Diyos, no? He will come to a mediator. That is the role of the priest, no? At the same time, God has instructed the priest, no? The priest that they should know the law, no? For them to be able to determine what is right and what is wrong, no? So first, he was to be a guide, no? He was a guide to the blind. At paano siya sabi ng ating Panginoon Kristo, paano magiging guide ang isa sa mga bulag, ang isang kapwa bulag? Ano mangyayari? Ano mangyayari kapag ang bulag inakay niya ang kapwa bulag? Ang sabi ng ating Panginoon Kristo, pareho silang mahuhulog sa bangin, no? Kapag inakay ng bulag ang kapwa bulag, no? Pangalawa, and intimately related, no? Second, and intimately related, he was supposed to be, again, via his connection with Yahweh and the Torah, a light to those who were in darkness. No? At yan ho ang ninanais talaga ng Diyos. For Israel become a light, no? In the darkness, no? Kaya nga, sinabi ng ating Panginoon Kristo sa Matthew chapter 5, no? Sabi niya, the beatitude, no? Part of the beatitude, Matthew chapter 5 verse 13 and Matthew chapter 5 verse 16. Ano sabi sa verse 13?
At huwag mo kaming
Chapter 5 verse 13, you are the light of the world. You are the light of the world, no? Tandaan natin, ang kausap, the recipient of Matthew are the Jews, no? At dito, kinonfirm din ng Apostol Pablo ang dapat function of the Jews, no? To be a light to those who are in darkness. And that is now our role as Christians, no? That is now our role as Christians, to become the light of the world. What it is required for a person to become a light of the world? Ano ang hinihingi pag ikaw ay sinabing ilaw ng sanlibutan?
Dapat na nagpapahayag ka ng kalooban ng Diyos.
So ano nga hinihingi ano bang hinihingi pag sinabi mo ikaw ilaw ng sanlibutan? Siyempre, pag ilaw ang hinihingi sa iyo ay liwanag, no? Nakita ho ba kayong ilaw na hinanapan mo ng dilim? Di ba? Ang hinihingi sa ilaw ay liwanag. Kaya nga sabi sa verse 16 sa Matthew chapter 5, ang sabi diyan?
Hindi naman, dapat ninyong paliwanagin ang inyong ilaw sa harap ng mga tao upang makita nila ang inyong mabubuting gawa at papurihan ang inyong Ama na nasa langit.
Yan. Tama yung siya sabi mo na mag-preach, pero katulad din ng mga Hudyo, they want to preach the Word of God, but they are not doing the Word of God. What is required of the light is to, of a lamp is to become light. Magliwanag. At mangyayari lang po yung pagliliwanag if we are doing what the law requires. If we are doing the Word of God. Doon lamang po tayo magliliwanag. Papasinin niyo po ang ating Paiso Kristo. Siya na nagtuturo ay ginagawa niya ang kanyang tinuturo. Kaya sinabi niya, I am the light of the world. Tingnan natin siya sabi sa Isaiah 49 verse 6. Isaiah 49 verse 6. At ito po ang inaasahan ng Diyos, Ito ang inaasahan ng Diyos sa Israel, 49:6.
Sinabi sa akin ni Yahweh, Israel na aking lingkod, may mas mahalaga pa akong ipapagawa sa iyo. Bukod sa pagpapanubalik sa mga Israelitang nalabi, gagawin din kitang liwanag sa mga bansa upang ang buong daigdig ay maligtas. Ano ba ang role ng liwanag?
Bakit mo kinakailangan ng liwanag?
Para makita po yung, halimbawa po, madilim, para makita mo yung mga paligid tsaka yung dadaanan.
Okay, para hindi ka
Para hindi ka po matisod.
Ayan. Tandaan niyo po ang liwanag, kailangan saan? Sa dilim. Hindi ang liwanag kinakailangan sa liwanag. Ang role na pinagagawa ng Diyos sa Israel ay upang maging ilaw sa mga Hentil. Magiging ilaw lang po ang isang tao if he is doing and practicing what the law requires. At yun ang hinihingi ng Diyos Israel. But Israel failed on that function. Israel failed on that function. Sana ho tayo, we are not failing on that function. We are not merely teachers of the law or of the gospel, but we should be the doers of the word of God. Third, as someone with wisdom from the law, he was to be an educator of the senseless. As someone with wisdom, from the law, he was to be an educator of the senseless. Bakit someone with wisdom? Ano ho bang binibigay ng kautusan? Kung babasahin niyo po ang Salmo, makikita niyo po ang role ng kautusan. Ang kautusan ang nagbibigay sa atin ng karunungan. Ang kautusan ang nagbibigay sa atin ng karunungan at naglalayo sa atin sa kamangmangan. Therefore, kung ikaw ho ay marunong sa sinasabi ng Biblia, ay sa sinasabi ng kautusan, you are an educator of the senseless. And the senseless na tawag dito are the Gentiles. And yung kapwa Mahudyo na hindi nakakaunawa ng kautusan. That is, as an obedient Jew, he had knowledge to pass in what would render on otherwise futile existence worthwhile. So ano po? Bilang mga masunuring Hudyo, ang hinihingi ho ay para siya ang magpasa sa mga Hintil at sa iba sa susunod na henerasyon ng tungkol po sa kautusan ng Diyos. Tingnan natin sinasabi sa Proverbs chapter 11 verse 29. Proverbs o Kawikaan chapter 11 verse 29.
Ang nagpupunla ng gulo sa sariling sambahayan, mag-aani ng problema, gugulo ang pamumuhay. Ang taong mangmang at walang nalalaman ay alipin ng matalino habang siya'y nabubuhay.
Yan. Yun ang nangyayari sa ginagawa ng mga Hudyo. No? Fourth, he was to be a teacher of little children. No? He was to be a teacher of little children. In the eyes of the law, the Gentile was basically an infant, no, needing the instruction of one more mature in the knowledge of faith. Kaya nga ho, ito ang naglayo sa kanila sa katotohanan, nagkaroon ho sila ng pride sa kanilang sarili, and because they prided themselves, no, they were more righteous than others, no, nabulagan sila na hindi nila ginagawa ang sinasabi ng kautusan. While the Gentile had knowledge, no, of God. While the Gentile had knowledge of God, according to chapter 1, verse 28 and verse 32. Ano ba yung knowledge of the Gentiles sa Diyos? Ay sa tinalakay natin last time. Ano yung knowledge ng Gentiles sa Diyos?
According po sa law,
ano yung knowledge ng Gentile tungkol sa Diyos? No? Ang knowledge ng Gentile tungkol sa Diyos, no, makita natin verse 28, nakita nila ang paglikha ng Diyos, creation, di ba? That is the knowledge of God. Sabi ni Apostol Pablo, sa ginawa na nila lang, maliwanag na ipinahayag ng Diyos ang kanyang kalikasan, no? So, ano pang binigay ng Diyos sa mga hintil? Meron silang konsensya, no? Nilikha ng Diyos. God created man with that law in their heart, no? God created, no? Kaya sabi ng Apostol Pablo, the Gentile had knowledge of God. Paul says that the Jews had in the law a much clearer understanding. Pero mayroong advantage ang mga Hudyo. Ano daw po ang advantage sa mga Hudyo? Meron mas maliwanag sa kanila ang kaunawaan tungkol sa tinatawag nating essential features of knowledge and of the truth. No? Merong maliwanag kasi ang hindi lamang po nasulat sa puso, kundi sinulat pa sa bato at isinulat sa maaklat ang essential features of knowledge and of the truth. Ipinaliwanag ng ating Diyos kung paano ito gagawin, including all the promises and the reward system in the law. What was written on the human heart and subsequently obscured to the faith through the fall and sin, no? What was written in the human heart and subsequently obscured, no? Yun daw pong naisulat sa ating puso, sa mga hintil, no? At maging sa mga Hudyo, ay nadimlan sa magitan ng pagkakasala at pagpaghulog sa kasalanan, no? Was made explicit in the Mosaic law. And much more as well, in terms of revelation from God, the Jew was in position of privilege, for he not only had nature and conscience. Ano pa ang advantage ng Hudyo? Maliban sa nature, the general revelation of God, ano pa ang advantage ng law, ng mga Hudyo? Meron silang special revelation which is the law, no? Ito ang advantage ng mga Hudyo. Ang mga hintil, meron silang general revelation. Ang mga Hudyo, meron din silang general revelation and a special revelation of God, which is in the Mosaic law. In chapter 2, verse 21 to 24, and indeed throughout the rest of the session, Paul begins to argue that although the Jew has been long on privilege, no, has been short in responsibility. No, tama ho yung kasabihan. Paglaki daw po ng kapangyarihan, no, ay mayroong kaakibat na responsibilidad. Ang pribilehiyo ay may kaakibat na responsibilidad. In point of fact, he has not lived up to his calling. Ang Hudyo po na inaasahan na binigyan ng Diyos ng pribilehiyo to be closer with God, no, has not lived up to his calling, and as a result, the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles. No, ito yung resulta ng hindi pamumuhay ng mga Hudyo ayon sa pagkatawag sa kanila ng Diyos. No, verses 21 to 24. Pabasa na ulit sa atin.
Nagtuturo ka sa iba, bakit di mo turuan ang iyong sarili? Nangangaral kang masama ang magnakaw, bakit ka nagnanakaw? Sinasabi mong huwag mangangalunya, bakit ka nangangalunya? Nasusuklam ka sa mga Diyos-Diyosan, bakit ninanakawan mo ang mga templo nila? Pinagmamalaki mong saklaw ka ng kautusan, ngunit nilalabastangan mo naman ang Diyos sa pamamagitan ng paglabag mo sa kautusan. Ayon sa nasusulat, ang pangalan ng Diyos ay nilalait ng mga hintil dahil sa inyo.
The Jews, though perhaps not to the same degree as some Gentiles, were guilty of committing the very things they thought, preached, and spoke against. No. They preached at others but failed to listen to their own sermons. No. They preached to others but failed to listen to their own sermons. They were guilty of stealing. No. Bakit po? Halimbawa, bakit sila guilty of stealing? Tinanong natin sa kanilang batas. Meron tinatawag silang kurban. No. Alala mo what is kurban? Hindi mo alam kurban. No. Ang kurban ay ganito. Ayon po sa batas ng kautusan, responsibilidad ng mayroong ng anak, no? Responsibilidad ng anak na suportahan ang kanilang magulang. Kapag ang magulang ay nasa panahon na hindi na nila kayang suportahan ang kanilang sarili, no? Pero ayon po sa kanilang manang turo, which is what we call a korban, no? Pwedeng hindi suportahan ng anak, ng may kayang anak, ang kanyang magulang na walang kakayanan. Kung ang isusuporta niya sa anak ay ibibigay niya sa simbahan, no? O ibibigay niya sa templo. Ang tawag nila doon is kurban, no? At yan ho'y nagagalit ang ating Panginoon Kristo, no? Sila ay nagtuturo, no? Pero pwedeng hindi mo na dapat kang tumulong sa iyong magulang, sa iyong kapamilya, pero pwede mo hindi itulong yun kung ito ibibigay mo sa simbahan. Ang sabi natin pa Kristo, that is pagnanakaw. Because that portion is for the parents and not for the temple of God. No. Kaya nga sabi natin pa Kristo, ibigay nyo sa Diyos ang para talaga sa Diyos. No. Second is what we call adultery. No. Adultery. The word adultery here is not on the physical adultery, but in katulad doon ng kwento sa Hosea, but hindi lamang po siya spiritual, no? But a literal kind of adultery, no? So, dalawa ho ang klase ng adultery na ang Israel ay guilty on. Spiritual adultery and tatawag nating physical adultery or literal adultery. Third is robbing temples, no? Robbing temples and not simply in thought, no? Not simply in thought. Tingnan natin, Matthew chapter 5. Halimbawa po ng natin sa pinag-aaral natin daw. Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 to 30. Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 to 30. Ito ho ay bahagi ng sermon ng ating Panginoon Kristo sa Mahudyo.
Narinig niyo sinabi, huwag kang mangangalunya. Ngunit sinasabi ko sa inyo, ang sino mong tumingin sa isang babae na may pagnanasa ay nangangalunya na sa babaeng iyon sa kanyang puso. Kung ang kanang mata mo ay nagiging sanhi ng iyong pagkakasala, dukitin mo ito at itapon. Mabuti pang mawalan ka ng isang bahagi ng iyong katawan, kaysa buo mong katawan ay itapon sa impyerno. Kung ang inyong kanang kamay naman ay nagiging sanhi ng iyong pagkakasala, putulin mo ito at itapon. Mabuti pang mawalan ka ng isang bahagi ng iyong katawan, kaysa ang buong mong katawan ay itapon sa impyerno.
Kita niyo po kung paano ang turo ng Panginoon sa Mahudyo, no? Kinakailangan nilang to act decisively, no? They should act decisively according to what the law requires. As if Paul were appealing to the law at the deeper level of sinful thoughts and attitudes only. On the contrary, there were Jews who were guilty of the act themselves. Paul's indictment against the Jew could hardly be expected to stick, quote-unquote, stick, if this were not the case, if they had not really committed these acts. The meaning of the last sin mentioned, namely robbed temples, is difficult to determine precisely, no? But it seems to refer to stealing idols from pagan temples in order to use the materials from which they are made. No, I repeat, it seems to refer to stealing idols from pagan temples in order to use the materials from which they were made. No, though the rabbis made numerous concessions, no, this was prohibited in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 25 to 26. No. Other commentators, however, have suggested that the term Jerusalis, no, in Greek is more general and means to commit sacrilege against the temple, and in particular, the Jerusalem temple. In short, the very ones who boast in the law dishonor God by transgressing the law. No, the result of Jewish hypocrisy, as noted in the Bible, is that the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles. Tingnan natin siya sabi, Isaiah 52:5. No, Isaiah 52:5. Isaiah 52:5.
Ganyan din ang nangyari sa inyo nang kayo'y bihagin sa Babylonia. Binihag kayo at hindi binayaran. Nagmamayabang ang mga bumihag sa inyo. Walang humpay ang kanilang paglait sa aking pangalan.
Okay. Isaiah 55, no, in the Hebrew Bible, does not have among the Gentiles, and because of you, but this wording is found in the LXX. Or ano yung LXX? Septuagint. No. Which Paul is chiefly indebted to do in this case. The way Paul is using the Isaiah passage is similar to the Ezekiel words in Ezekiel 36:20. No, medyo hawiguyan doon sa pagkasulat ni Ezekiel sa chapter 36 verse 20.
Ngunit sa mga lugar na kinapupuntahan nila, binigyan daan nila ang mga tao upang hamakin ang aking pangalan. Sinabi ng mga tao sa kanila, hindi ba sila yung mga mamamayan ni Yahweh? Bakit pinapaalis sa kanilang bayan?
O di po ba? Malaking katanungan, malaking katanungan ang kasiraan ng Israel at ang kasiraan ng Israel ay kasiraan din ng kanilang Diyos. No. Pero pinahintulutan ito ng Diyos upang ipaunawa sa Israel that mayroon po silang tungkulin to follow and to become obedient to the law of God, no, and to become faithful to their Lord. But the problem is, hindi ko sila nagiging tapat sa kanilang tungkulin, no. Kaya ang pangalan ng Diyos ay hinayaan ng Diyos na maging ang kanyang pangalan ay mahamak. Pero no, ipinakita pa rin ng Diyos ang kanilang dakilang pag-ibig sa kanyang minamahal na bayan. Maging sa atin po, kapag tayo we are liking the Jew, no? Sa atin mo ngayon, alam mo natin ang kautusan sinasabi ng Biblia, alam mo natin ang gospel. But if we are not living according to the teaching of the gospel, ang pangalan ng Diyos ay napapahiya, no? Ang pangalan ng Diyos ay napapahiya sa atin pong lipunan. Pagpatuloy natin, verses 25 to 29, the last portion of chapter 2. No? Paul further explains, babasa natin, 25 to 29.
Mahalaga lamang ang iyong pagiging tuli kung tumutupad ka sa kautusan. Subalit kung lumalabag ka sa kautusan, para ka rin hindi tinuli. Kung ang hindi tuli ay gumagawa batay sa panuntunan ng kautusan, hindi ba siya ituturing na tuli? Kaya ikaw na Hudyong nasa ilalim ng kautusan, ngunit hindi naman tumutupad nito, ay hahatulan ng mga tumutupad sa kautusan bagamat hindi sila tinuli. Sapagkat ang pagiging isang tunay na Hudyo ay hindi dahil sa panlabas na kaanyuan o dahil sa pagtutuli sa laman. Tunay na Hudyo ay ang taong nabago sa puso't kalooban ayon sa Espiritu at hindi ayon sa pautusang nasusulat. Ang papuri sa taong iyon ay mula sa Diyos at hindi mula sa mga tao.
Okay. Pasinin natin, nagbukas ang verse 25 with the word for, no? Paul further explains, no? The word for in verse 25 is in connection with verses 21 to 24. By way of the best example, we think of circumcision, no? So it is connected with the discussion in verses 21 to 24. He explained why Gentile blasphemes the name of God, no? It is because the Jews, even though circumcised, do not live up to their professions, but Paul also goes further in verses 25 to 29. Paul says that circumcision is definitely not a ticket, quote unquote, a ticket to the world to come. No. In short, yung circumcision po is of no value if not attended by faithful practice of the law. for which it was assigned. No. Tandaan natin, nung iniutos ng Panginoon kay Abraham, no, sa kanila hong tinawag Abrahamic Covenant, the sign of Abrahamic Covenant is what? Anong sign of Abrahamic Covenant? Is circumcision, no? Maliwanag ko yan. The sign of Abrahamic Covenant is circumcision. Ang sabi ng Diyos, ititiwalag sa Israel ang sino mang hindi tinuli. No. Kay Noah, the sign of Noahic Covenant is what?
Yung rainbow.
Rainbow. That is the sign of Noahic Covenant. No? Sa Abrahamic Covenant, the sign is circumcision. And it was the law in Israel na ang sino man after 8 days na hindi natutuli, no? Sa kanila, basta lalaki ka, on the 8th day kailangang matuli, katulad din po ng ating Panginoon Kristo. He followed the law, no, of the Jews. Since siya ay pinanganak sa Hudyo, no, ikawalong araw, siya din po ay tinupad ni Jose ang kanyang tungkulin sa kanyang quote-unquote anak, no? At ito ay bahagi o sign o tanda ng pagiging kabahagi sa covenant ng Diyos, no? At the same time, it means you are separated from all the nations of the world and you belong to God. Since you now become a member of what we call the covenant of God to Abraham and to Israel. No. Kaya sa kanila po, napakalaking bahagi, yung tinatawag po nating circumcision, no? Circumcision. Kaya nga maging kay Apostol Pablo, hinahabol ng mga Hudyo nung panahon na nagtuturo si Apostol Pablo, sinusundan nila ang pagtuturo ni Apostol Pablo at nire-require nila ang mga hintil na sasampalataya sa ating Panginoon na kinakailangan din sundin ang sinasabi ng kautusan. Pero maliwanag po sa pinakita ni Apostol Pablo na hindi na kinakailangan sundin ang requirement of the law, no? Yung circumcision, because the circumcision is just a sign, no? It's just a sign of what we call the Abrahamic Covenant. Hindi po siya at hindi rin po passport, no? Hindi rin po sinasabi ng Apostol Pablo, hindi rin po passport ang circumcision to eternal life, no? Hindi rin po passport ang circumcision to eternal life, no? Hindi ka mapupunta sa langit because you are circumcised, because you are part of the Abrahamic Covenant, no? Those who ang requirement ng Diyos, those who are part of the Abrahamic Covenant, paano ba itinuring, no? Paano ba naging justified o pinawalang sala ng Diyos si Abraham? Sa pamamagitan ba ng covenant? Sa pamamagitan ng pananampalataya. So therefore, those who belong to the covenant must believe as Abraham's belief. No. In short, it is of no value if not attended by faithful practice. Ano ang of no value? Circumcision has no value if not attended by faithful practice. No, maliwanag ang indication sa original of the law for which it was assigned. So, ibig sabihin, being part of the covenant of God, no, being part of the covenant of God, you have to do what the law requires. No, for it becomes effective sign on your behalf. Indeed, and here where Paul begins to go further than just to explain the reason for Gentile blasphemy. It is as though the man is not even circumcised. No, wala ho pa sa tingin ng mga Hudyo, walang pinagkaiba ang pagtutuli at ang hindi pagtutuli. They explain the reason for Gentile blasphemy. No, this must mean that such a man is not a true member of the covenant community and is unregenerated. No, because ang in-expect ng Biblia, ang in-expect ng Diyos, those who partake to this kind of sign of circumcision to be part of the covenant must do what the covenant requires. But the problem is, those who make a sign, quote-unquote, a sign for themselves of the covenant is not functioning according to what the covenant requires. So sabi ni Apostol Pablo, since you are not doing according to the covenant, no, to the requirement of the covenant, walang kapangyarihan yung sign of the covenant, since the requirement of the covenant ay sinasaway naman ninyo o sinusuway naman ninyo at hindi ninyo sinusunod. Paul continues his argument. by asking a rhetorical question. No. Kung sinabi natin rhetorical, pakibasa natin, verses 28 to 29.
Sapagkat ang pagiging isang tunay na Hudyo ay hindi dahil sa panlabas na kaanian o dahil sa pagtutuli sa laman. Ang tunay na Hudyo ay ang taong nabago sa puso't kalooban ayon sa Espiritu at hindi ayon sa kautosang nasusulat. Ang papuri sa taong iyon ay mula sa Diyos at hindi mula sa mga tao.
Pakibasa yun, 25-26.
Mahalaga lamang ang iyong pagiging tuli kung tumutupad ka sa kautusan, subalit kung lumalabag ka sa kautusan, para ka rin hindi tinuli. Kung hindi tuli ang gumagawa batay sa panuntunan ng kautusan, hindi ba siya ituturing na tuli? Kaya ikaw na Hudyong nasa ilalim ng kautusan, ngunit hindi naman tumutupad ito, ay hahatulan ng mga tumutupad sa kautusan, bagaman hindi sila tinuli.
Pasinin natin ang tanong ng Apostol Pablo. I think that's verse 26. Paano din ang tanong ng Apostol Pablo?
Tanong na lang po, hindi ba siya ituturing na tuli?
Yung parcel, yung
Lahat po yan. Kung hindi tuli, ang gumagawa batay sa panuntunan ng kautusan, hindi ba siya ituturing na tuli?
Ano sabi diyan? Kung yun daw pong isang uncircumcised man, no, ay ginagawa yung sinasabi ng kautusan, hindi ba siya ituturing na tuli? Samantalang yun namang isa na tuli at hindi naman niya ginagawa, mayroon hubang kapakwenta, no? Mayroon bang benefit yung kanyang pagiging tuli? So pinakita ni Apostol Pablo yung contrast, no? The contrast of the uncircumcised and the uncircumcised who are keeping the law, and the contrast between the circumcised who are not doing or becoming obedient to the law. No. He asks if the uncircumcised man keeps the righteous requirement of the law, will be in the contrast to the circumcised man who does not keep the law, be regarded as circumcised, a member of the covenant community, and heir of the promise of God. According to Paul, he will certainly be regarded as such. No? Ano sasabi po ng Apostol Pablo? Yun hong mga hindi na circumcised na gumagawa ng sinasabi ng kautusan ay matuturing na circumcised dahil ginagawa niya ang hinihingi ng kautusan. And he becomes a part of the covenant. Samantala yun namang circumcised na mayroong tanda sa kanya ng covenant, who is not keeping the requirement of the covenant, is not part of the covenant. Further, the very man who is uncircumcised by birth and yet keeps the law, he will judge the circumcised law breaker as though uncircumcised. Ano po sasabi niyan? Yun daw pong mga uncircumcised na sumutupad sa sinasabi ng kautusan ay siya ang magiging hukom pa nga. No? So, mas nababa ang posisyon ng mga Hudyo. Thus, iniisip ng mga Hudyo sa kanilang pride na sila ay may kapangyarihang maghusga sa mga hintil. No? Pero ang sinasabi ng Apostol Pablo, ang mga hahatol sa mga Hudyo ay yung mga hintil na sumutupad sa sinasabi ng kautusan. kahit hindi sila natutuli, hindi sila circumcised. No? And he will do this despite the fact that the man claims to have both the written code, namely the Mosaic law, and the circumcision as the sign. No. Last portion na po tayo, verses 28 to 29. Paul says there is a reason why circumcision by itself guarantees nothing. I repeat. There is a reason why circumcision by itself guarantees nothing. It is because true religion is first and foremost and always a matter of the heart. Pakibasa yung last portion ng 28 and 29.
Ang pagiging isang tunay na Hudyo ay hindi dahil sa panlabas na kaunyan o dahil sa pagtutuli sa laman. Ang tunay na Hudyo ay ang taong nabago ang puso at kalooban ayon sa Espiritu at hindi ayon sa kautusang nasusulat.
Yan. Ano daw ang tunay na uri ng Hudyo?
Ang taong nabago sa puso at kalooban ko.
So siya sabi ng Apostol Pablo with regards to the circumcision, it is of the circumcision of the heart. No. When you are circumcised in the flesh, you should be circumcised in the heart. No. So sabi niya, it is because true religion is first and foremost and always a matter of the heart, of what we call a genuine faith or the inner man. To be sure, circumcision was a sign of membership in the covenant community of Israel. No. I repeat po, maliwanag po yan sa kautusan na ang circumcision ay tanda ng pagiging kabahagi ng covenant community of Israel. But it was only a sign. No. It could not create the reality of participation in the saved community of Israel. I repeat, circumcision could not create the reality of participation in the saved community of Israel, nor it could somehow replace the means of participation in the covenant community by living by faith. No? By living by faith. The true Jew, therefore, as one knowledgeable of what constitutes true religion, should know this better than anyone. Ito ay inaasahan sa bawat Diyo. Yamang sila nakakaalam at nakakaunawa sa sinasabi ng kautusan. No? Alam na inaasahan ng Diyos na ang pagiging tunay na tuli ay hindi lamang sa magitan ng kaalaman, no? ng kautusan, kung hindi sa magitan sa pagsunod nito. Maliwanag po yan. Kung babasahin po natin ang Salmo, maliwanag yan na sinasabi at paulit-ulit na rin. Pinag-aaralan ko ang kautusan para to pa rin ito. No? Binabasa ko, sinasaliksik ko ang kautusan upang malaunawaan ko ang iyong kalooban sa ganun may sa gawa ko sa aking buhay. Dahil alam ni Haring David na ang kautusan ang kayamanan. No? At ang kanyang pag-asa para saan? Para masunod ang kalooban ng Diyos. Kaya siya sabi ng Apostol Pablo, ang tunay na pagiging tuli ay mayroon lamang kapangyarihan kapag ang isang tao na tuli na kabahagi ng tinatawag ho nating covenant family, no? Covenant community of Israel, ay ginagawa ang sinasabi ng kautusan. No? Doon lamang po nagkakaroon ng kapangyarihan at totoo sa kanilang buhay ang pagiging Hudyo nila. Thus, a true Jew is not one who is merely circumcised outwardly. Ang sasabi ng Apostol Pablo, hindi lamang ang tunay po pong Hudyo ay hindi lamang yung natuli physical. No? But the one who has natuli sa kanyang puso. No? But the true Jew is the one who is circumcised inwardly. A circumcision in the heart done by the Spirit. No? A circumcision in the heart done by the Spirit. And not by the written code of the law. Tingnan natin siya sabi sa Jeremiah 31, 31 to 33. Jeremiah 31, 31 to 33. No.
Sinasabi ni Yahweh, darating ang panahon na gagawa ko ng bagong tipan sa Israel at sa Huda. Ito hindi tulad ng kasunduang ginawa ko sa kanilang mga ninuno nang ilabas ko sila sa Ehipto. Bagamat para akong isang asawa sa kanila, sinira nila ang kasunduang ito. Ganito ang gagawin kong kasunduan sa bayan ng Israel. Pagdating ng panahon, itatanim ko sa kanilang mga kalooban ang aking kautusan. Susulat ko ito sa kanilang mga puso. Ako ang kanilang magiging Diyos at sila ang aking magiging bayan.
Ito ho yung nasa kaisipan ni Apostol Pablo nung isinulat niya yung bahagi ito. No? Na ang nakakaalam ng kautusan na itinanim ng Diyos sa kanilang puso at hindi lamang yung nakasulat sa bato. No? Sa panahon kasi ito, wala na yung tapis ng bato. No? Kundi nakasulat doon sa scroll. No? At ito rin po ang tinutukoy ng ating Panginoon Kristo nung nakipag-usap siya kay Nicodemus. No? Nung nakipag-usap si Nicodemus sa Juan chapter 3. No? So, ang tumutukoy ito saan? Doon sa tinatawag ho nating supernatural rebirth. No? Ang tinutukoy ng Apostol Pablo na mangyayari lamang po yung super circumcision of the heart kung ang isang tunay na Hudyo ay nalagyan na ng Diyos, nataniman na ng Diyos, nasulatan na ng Diyos sa kanyang puso ng kautusang hindi nawawala at mayroong kapangyarihang magbago sa kanyang buhay. No? At siguro, tingnan mo natin siya sabi ng Apostol Pablo. Connected pa rin ito. Romans chapter 5 verses 1 to 5 before we close this last portion of chapter 2.
Sapagkat napawalang sala na tayo sa pamamagitan ng ating pananampalataya, mayroon na tayong mapayapang ugnayan sa Diyos sa pamamagitan ng ating Panginoong Hesukristo. Sa pamamagitan ng pagsampalataya kay Hesukristo, tinamasa natin ang kagandahang loob ng Diyos at tayo nagagalak dahil sa pag-asang tayo makakabahagi sa Kanyang kaluwalhatian. Hindi lamang iyan, kinagagalak din natin ang mga kahirapang ating tinitiis dahil alam natin ito'y magbubunga ng pagtataga at ang pagtatiyaga ay nagbubunga ng mabuting pagkatao. Ang mabuting pagkatao ay nagbubunga ng pag-asa. At hindi tayo binibigo ng pag-asang ito sapagkat ang pag-ibig ng Diyos ay binuhos sa ating mga puso sa pamamagitan ng Espiritu Santo na ipinagkaloob sa atin.
So makita natin that according to reality, no? Jew boasted in knowing the law, but Christ said, none of you keeps the law. No? Today, million of what we call conscious Christian, no, privilege and making Christian profession. Pero ano din po, hindi rin ginagawa ang sinasabi ng kautusan. No. Kaya tamang-tama po, saktong-sakto, ay ikapitong prinsipyo ng paghahatol ng Diyos sa mga Hudyo, according to reality, not religious profession. A divinely revealed religion provides no security to its professor if devoid of reality. Whether the Jewish religion at the beginning of the dispensation or the Christian religion. Maging ho sa tinatawag natin Christian religion. Kung ang pagiging Kristiyano natin ay sanguso lamang at wala sa puso, wala rin kwenta ang ating pagiging Kristiyano. Yan po ang ating discussion sa Romans chapter 2, and in behalf of our Eastern Evangelical Theological Seminary, nawa po ay napagpala po tayo ng ating